Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a video. This is my second take, I'm gonna be upfront, but here we go again. I'm blessed, man. Life is good right now. Life has changed. I've been through a lot of changes. First things first, the hair. But not just the hair, there's a lot more that has changed. I've been through this little bridge of time, this little gap of time where God has told me to stop, just be, and receive. So there's times and seasons, like, think how long your life is actually going to be, if you live a good, healthy life, 80, 90 years with good health care. But, like, you generally have a lot of life left to live. And so we get caught up often with meeting certain goals, reaching certain criteria. Well, I need to have so-and-so amount of wealth. I need to pay my bills. How am I going to pay my utilities? I need to be so-and-so by this age. I need to have a house. I need to have a relationship at this time. I have my own schedule and time for my own life. But what I've been experiencing recently is that my idea of productivity is very different to God's idea of productivity, God's idea of increase for my own life, and comparing that to my own. Like, I think I need to be in the gym every day. I think I need to be writing my pen, writing in the Bible, getting downloads all the time, all that stuff every day in order to be productive and taking steps forwards. That's just not true. To God, what he sees as productive is very counter to what I see as productive. To me, I may think, oh, doing nothing all day is not productive. But God may say, no, you've been working for the past 3 weeks. You need to do all nothing today because it's productive in terms of keeping you going. Or even in the minor stuff, like God may say, take an extra 15 minutes to sleep in today. I say, how is that productive? I have my own time frame for today. God's like, get off your own schedule. My schedule is that you enjoy these 15 minutes, get refreshed, because you don't know who I'm going to put you in front of, who I'm going to take you to be with, the opportunity I might give you today. And if you're not feeling 100, how are you going to take it? So a word, man, like, get off your own schedule and get on God's schedule, man. Like, God didn't have me record a video for like 9 days. I wasn't stressed. Like, it's not up to me to make things grow. You know that when you plant a seed into the ground, you don't say, okay, now I expect it to grow 4 meters in the air, be a certain volume, produce a certain amount of fruit every year. That's not up to me to decide. What I can do is prepare the environment for the seed, give it the best nutrients and opportunity and humidity that it needs, give it the best conditions it can really to grow. But I don't determine its growth. Like, you can put things in good environments, but they can still die. And you'll be like, why? Because it's not you that's making the increase. It's God that's going to bring increase. It's God that's going to bring change. So I know, like, as a farmer, I know there's a time where I prep the ground and I plop the seed in, but I don't need to come to the field every day. A farmer's not in the field every day looking and saying, okay, so has it grown this, and this much? That's just a waste of your time. It's time to enjoy life whilst those things are working out, or do something else while those things are working out. Because I know it takes maybe, like, God knows, maybe it takes like 30 days for that to grow. So that's a 30-day timeline. I can go do something else. So yeah, it gives me time to be authentic to me, to spend time deep with me. Like, I'm on my own course of life. It's just me and God. And I want to be more authentic to me. Like, I want to be really who Richard is. Like, who am I? This place, this person, how do I interact? How do I connect with myself in this environment and then connect to others? Because I know that materialism does not fulfill me, or getting certain passion pursuits does not fulfill me, or being the greatest in arts doesn't fulfill me, or owning multi-millions will not fulfill me. Because even if I reach those stages, eventually you reach the end of those things and there's not really any more enjoyment to take. I've been through it with music. I've been through it with my personal life. There was a time I was reflecting, I was like, dude, life is actually boring if you don't distract yourself. Because if I didn't have my relationships with God, and I realized all these things, then I'd be hopeless, bro. Because, like, it really would be like I'm just entertaining myself before I pass away. Because if I didn't have these things to focus on, what would I actually do in my life? And that brought me a lot of security, because My identity is in God, like, and what God has told me about myself, and not in the things that I do or certain targets that I need to reach in my life. Like, no, God has a very different idea. So I don't need to be tied down by all of that. I can just genuinely be free. So I'm not coming from a place of depression, by the way, knowing that, oh, if these things weren't here, what'd I do? Like, no, because I've died to those things, that I recognize from the eternal perspective that in a lifetime, those things will not really be as important. What is important is, do I have a relationship with God and connect to Him and connect to me and actually connect to everything, connect to people, connect to the person that's behind the screen, connect to the people I see down the street? Because I heard a very interesting quote, and it's like, you may do something for someone and it might not change the world, but for that person it changes the way they see the world. And I remember the dark places I've come from. I remember the suffering that I've been through and I still go through. And I remember the light that God showed me when He changed my life, and how much joy and peace I have, and how much connection and depth and beauty there is in Him and what He's put in me. And I see others still blinded like I was, or still in the same places I was. And my hand is to reach out to them, the people that don't feel seen, because I see you just as God sees you. And God loves. And I love because God loves me. I love everybody because God loved them. So connecting is more beautiful than any of these things that the world tells you is good. Trust me, guys. Like, when you go through that, you really have a big revelation about your place in life and what is really important 50, 70 years down the line. Yes, I do all the business stuff. Yes, I achieve certain amount of success. But when I'm lying on my deathbed and I look back at all the things I gained and all the things I lost, what will I really found to have been valuable? Would it have been the things I owned or the experiences I had? Will it be the things I've done or the connections I made? How human was I? What kind of person was I? Did I even really know myself? Or did I just do things based off the surface level appetite of saying, I have a craving to eat, so I gotta eat. I have a craving to make money, so I gotta make money. I have a craving to have a family, so I gotta look for a wife. You know, like, was I really surface level, or was I actually intricate? Did I actually take time to really develop, look within, and look above, and find myself in that place, you know? And I don't think a lot of people take time to do that. I think a lot of the time, we live very shallow lives based off how other people perceive us. And many changes have happened to me, as you can tell. Got my hair, got some headphones, got a new phone, you know, and not even just that. A lot of things have been shifting in my life. And it made me reflect on who I am. Because, you know, if it was the person I was 3 years ago and I've gotten a new phone now, like, dude, I've been making videos on this broken phone for the past year or so. I've had this broken phone for 3 years. The middle part of the screen doesn't work. For 3 years, I've contended with this ever since I started my journey to Christ. Something was broken and now it's been restored to something better. And for 3 years, like, I got so used to dealing and managing and moving around this thing that I didn't recognize, like, dude, you know, you should actually have a full functioning phone. You know, it shouldn't be broken in the middle. You know, there should be a place and a space where you recognize that some things in your life, just because they're working, doesn't mean that they need to be there, or that it's right for you to have those things, or those things are meant to be part of your life. Just because it's functional doesn't mean that's what God has intended. And when I started using this phone, it felt weird at first because I've been so used to my previous circumstance, my previous experience of life. But now that I'm changing and shifting to this new thing, I didn't imagine my life could be like this, but yet it is. And it's uncomfortable at first because you feel weirded out that, whoa, this is different, right? But like, recognizing that different is not bad and change is good. And when I started using this more, I stopped using the old thing that was functional because I recognized the blessing I have before me. And I don't find identity in it. Like, I'm very grateful that it took this long for me to get a new phone. It took this long before I was given like a really nice thing. Because if it was the me of the past, I would have looked at how other people perceived me. I would have seen, oh, I'm wearing the flyest clothes, or I'm looking in a specific way, or I'm looking in a specific kind of person. I got this kind of intention and attitude about myself. I conduct and carry myself in a certain way. Do other people notice? And then it's not really me being who I am. It's me trying to find value in how other people perceive me. I build a false persona just to be validated, which shows you that something is really missing in your heart. And that was the case for me. You know, I'd have to find validation in how other people look and see me. And, you know, you can say I don't care, but you're walking around a culture where you're trying to fit in a way that's unique. Like, you're trying to be like, oh, I'm like this kind of person. You know, look at my style, look at my flair. But you still have to look around for people to validate you, because you're not really that person. It's just someone you've built. It's not really who you are. And I see that in the world all the time. Billionaires, millionaires, people from all different walks of life trying to find identity in specific niches, in their passions, in their arts, in the money, and how people perceive them. But it doesn't fulfill. It doesn't fulfill. It won't fulfill. But now that I'm Christ-centered, and my validation is not based on the things that I have or how people perceive the things that I have, but based on what God told me about myself, about who I am. That's where I find my identity. It's not in anything. So now that when I get those things, right? And I'm not just talking about material, I'm talking about the philosophy, the spiritual, the wisdom, the liberation from certain traumas and healing. Like, those things can push you into thinking you're better than someone, but you're not. Everyone is a sinner before the Lord, and everyone needs help. I need help, bro. And when I recognize that, when I have something that others can consider or perceive as valuable, I can enjoy that thing authentically, genuinely. You know, I'm not looking on someone's reaction. When I make art, I'm not looking at somebody's reaction. I enjoy it authentic, genuinely. I enjoy life genuinely. Who am I? Richard. Who is this person that I am? Have I taken the time to really explore and connect to me? What God has told me about myself? Am I really who I am? Or am I just living a shallow life? Am I really deep leveled? Or am I making things off the surface? Because again, when I look back in 40, 70 years, all the good things I've done, was I really me? Or was I just an idea of me I never really was meant to be? And I value that connection more than all those other things, because you really won't be happy with that. But connecting to souls, being a soul, it's like the greatest experience after knowing the Lord. So yeah, I guess the point of that is to say, like, you know, embrace what God has for you, find your identity in Him and not how others see you, and trust Him even when it looks weird. Because like for the past 2 weeks I've been feeling weird. I'm like, dude, it feels like something is heavy upon me. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, but God told me that's fine. And it's separating your feelings from the word, and knowing that it's not about how much I do or what I do. It's simply about who God is and how He's chosen to treat me, not based off any actions. You know, your friends, for example, like, you love your friends not based on what you do, but just on who they are. So they make mistakes, and they also are doing good things and bad things. You don't like them because of that. You like them simply because you've chosen to like them. You know, and that's often how God treats us. He simply loves us because He loves us. You know, it's not based on anything I can do. So I'm just free. Like, it feels really good to say that I'm free. I'm not constrained. I'm not tied, but I'm just like free from this eternal perspective. And that makes me really, really in it, present in it, because I know that I'm free from it, but I'm a part of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, new video, guys, dropping right now. But yeah, man, I hope you guys have been well. You know, I have ideas for this channel, of course, but it'll play out how it plays out. But I want to connect to y'all. I mean, I know I don't have a big fan base right now. In time, things will change, but like, I want to connect to y'all. I want to be a little bit different. See, that's me trying to be my own flag. But I am who I am that the Lord has made me. So I know that it's not because I want to be validated. It's just who I am, you know. But like I want to connect to y'all and hope y'all are good. So if you like, comment, subscribe, fantastic. If you don't, it's whatever. And I hope you guys have a really blessed week. And thank you for listening to me waffle for like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes. But I hope you guys have a good day, yeah?